guys know that there's also videos in Connect Math too, so you could be looking at those as well. Okay, let's talk about adding real numbers. So what are we talking about when we're talking about adding real numbers? Let's first draw a number line, and this is how our number line is set up. So this is the number line. The number line can contain all of our real numbers. So in the middle, we're going to put 0, and then as we progress to the right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down here, -1, -2, -3, -4. So going in this direction, our numbers go on for infinity. What number group that we were just talking about did I write on the number line? What group? Integers. So these numbers right here are integers. A lot of times when we start talking about adding positive and negative numbers, we actually call it adding integers. Integers. Okay. So we talked about how these are integers. So we have this concept called absolute value. Absolute value. The absolute value of a number is its distance from 0 on the number line. So if I said the absolute value of 4, I would put these symbols around the 4, the absolute value of 4. So these two parallel lines mean absolute value. How far away from 0 is 4 on the number line? Yeah, it's 4. It's just 4. So, but the reason why we talk about absolute value is because the absolute value of -4 is also 4 because it's 4 units away from 0. They're just the spaces on the number line. So counting on the number line. This is what a number line looks like. It just has numbers on it, just showing the direction. Positive going up, negative numbers going down. Oh, this means right here, sorry, these lines are the symbol that mean absolute value. So when I put these symbols around the number, then I want to know how far the number is away from 0. I thought you meant the numbers, the dashes on the number line. Okay, so what if I want the negative absolute value of 4, meaning I want the opposite of the absolute value of 4. Since the negative is on the outside of the absolute value, what is that going to do to the number? It's saying, yeah, opposite of the absolute value of 4. So the absolute value of 4 is 4, and then make it negative, -4. And we can actually do a lot of things with absolute values. If I say I want the absolute value of -8 plus the absolute value of -4, first, I'm going to find the absolute value of each number, correct? So the absolute value of -8, 8. What's the absolute value of -4? 4, and I get 12. What if I took the negative, no, actually we'll come back to these. So any questions about these so far? Absolute value. This one right here at the end. So it's just saying when I make something negative. Now, in your account, so you guys, how many people have been dealing with money in your life? Do you have money? Okay. Okay, sometimes have you ever had negative money? Oh, you have. Okay. So I'm going to take a moment and just turn the page. Remember, you can always come back and watch this later too. So let's imagine that your account right now has $100 in it. Okay, you all have $100 in your account. What would happen if you what would happen if you owed someone? What would happen if you owed somebody $100? You'd be back to 0. You'd have to pay them back. So if I say 100 minus 100, I get 0. What if I say 100 plus negative 100? You're still back to 0 because you have a positive amount. The negative is the amount you owe. So anytime you owe something, it is a negative to you, isn't it? Because you're going to have to. Right. So positive numbers are the money that you have. Negative numbers are the amount that you owe. Okay, we call this a zero pair because the two numbers add together to give you 0. So what if you owe 10, but you have 15? You'll have 5 positive, right? What if you owed 15, but you have 10? You're right. You still owe $5. So we give that negative. Now we have a negative 5, right? What if you owe $25 and you owe $5 more? You're going more into debt. Negative 30. So when I have two negatives and I'm adding them together, I'm getting more negative, aren't I? So from what we've done so far, could we come up with a rule for adding negative and positive numbers or adding integers? What's our rules then for adding integers? We're not going to use a calculator. We want to be able to use mental math here. So if the signs are different, what did we do when the signs were different? Well, because you guys brought up this earlier. What if I had $25 and I added $5 more? How much do I have altogether? 30. That was so when the signs are the same signs, we're going to, just like you said, add and keep the sign. Okay? When the signs are opposite signs, what should we do? What did we do with negative 15 and positive 10? What did we do with negative 10? We subtract, and how do we know which sign to keep? Yes, so with opposite signs, we're going to subtract and keep sign of bigger, and I put bigger in parentheses, number. And it's actually, we say the number that has the larger absolute value, okay? Number with larger absolute value. So once we get this rule down and we really have mastered it, then we're going to be golden in all of our math classes, I'm telling you. This is so important, okay? So what I want you to do is think about how flashcards could really help here. So if I put down a problem on a flashcard, then what we want to do is work on trying to get. So we have you owe 11, you owe 20 more. What would the sign be? Negative 31, right? Because it's a negative 11, you owe 20 more, okay? What about this one? Negative 14 plus 10. Negative 4. Good. See, you guys are getting this. What about this one? Negative 50 plus 75. You have $25 now. Very good. So you can think about it in terms of money. Negative 30 plus negative 60 would be negative 90. Are you seeing these patterns? Negative 40 plus 60. Take a moment to think about it. So you owed 40. You owe me 40. You have $60. Pay me back what? Well, would it be it would be positive because you get to keep that extra 20 that you had the 60, right? Anytime it's positive, that's money you have. Here you owe 15, you have 20. Positive 5. You don't have to put a positive in front of it. When you have 5, you're right, it's positive, okay? Yeah, you owe 200. You have 300. How much do you have left? Positive 100. Very good. Okay, now a lot of times you will see sometimes negatives in parentheses. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just a way to show that the number has a negative as opposed to a subtract, you know? So negative 20 plus 40 is positive 20. Good. You owe me $1.25. You have $2.50. $1.25 left once you pay off your debt. Here, you don't want to be like whoever this is. They owe 70. They only have 30. What are you gonna have left? Negative. This is real life. This is negative 40. You're in debt. You're right. What about this one? 0. What about this one? Uh-huh. Negative 140. What's this one? 2. Negative 140. 2. Can we? Negative 15. Negative 15. Clearly not, right? When you add two negatives, you get a positive? Yes? Okay. Negative 20 plus 8 would be negative 12. Negative 12 plus negative 13? Negative 25. What's this one? Negative 1. Everybody gets that one? Negative 1? Okay. Are you guys thinking of this? Negative 100. 60. Okay. So right now I'm going to stop this and I want you to try that